Have you ever wondered how the heroes of the Bible found the strength to overcome their challenges? Across the ages, from the ancient times of the Old Testament to the New, the struggle is a common thread that binds us all. These biblical heroes, much like us, grappled with trials and tribulations. Yet they found a unique source of strength and motivation: their unwavering faith. In the face of adversity, biblical figures found strength in their faith and perseverance. Consider Job, who despite losing everything, never lost his faith. Job was a man who had it all: wealth, family, health. But in an instant he lost everything. Yet he never wavered in his faith. He didn't understand why he was suffering, but he trusted God, showing us that faith isn't about understanding, it's about trust. Then there's Daniel, thrown into a lion's den for refusing to stop praying to God. Facing certain death, he didn't lose faith. He stood firm, trusting in God's protection, and was rewarded with a miraculous rescue. Daniel's story reminds us that even when we're pushed into the lion's den of life, we can trust in God's protection. And we can't forget the Apostle Paul. Once a persecutor of Christians, he became one of the most influential figures in the New Testament. Despite numerous imprisonments, beatings, and threats on his life, he never stopped spreading the good news. Paul's perseverance teaches us that no matter how many times we're knocked down, we should get back up and continue our mission. These stories of Job, Daniel, and Paul are more than just tales from the past. They are timeless lessons of faith and perseverance. They show us that despite the trials and tribulations we face, we can maintain our faith and trust in God. These stories remind us that perseverance isn't about never falling, but about getting up each time we fall. And then, there's the ultimate example of perseverance: Jesus Christ. This man, revered by millions, faced countless challenges throughout his life. Born in a manger, he lived a humble existence, yet his purpose was far from ordinary. He was tasked with an incredible divine mission, knowing well that it would lead him to the ultimate sacrifice. Despite the hardship, the ridicule, the betrayal, and the pain, he didn't waver. He pressed on, his eyes set firmly on his mission. Jesus' perseverance was powered by an unwavering faith and a deep-seated love for humanity. His life was a testament to the strength of the human spirit when driven by a purpose greater than oneself. His journey wasn't easy, but he walked it with grace, dignity, and an unwavering commitment. Jesus exemplified the power of faith and perseverance, showing us that we too can overcome our challenges. What can we learn from these stories of divine motivation and perseverance? In the narratives of these biblical figures, we find a recurring theme: the power of faith and perseverance. Abraham, despite his advanced age, held steadfast to the promise of a multitude. Moses, though often filled with self-doubt, led his people to freedom against staggering odds. These stories remind us that faith doesn't promise an easy path, but it does provide strength and motivation to continue walking, even when the road is rocky. Faith is not just a belief in the divine, but also a belief in oneself. It's a driving force that pushes us beyond our perceived limits, encouraging us to step outside our comfort zones and face our challenges head-on. It's a wellspring of motivation, fostering resilience in the face of adversity. In our own lives, we can draw upon these lessons to find the strength to overcome our challenges. The Bible is full of verses that inspire and motivate us to persevere. Let's reflect on a few key ones. The book of James, chapter 1, verse 12 says, "Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life." This verse encourages us to stay strong during trials, promising a reward for steadfastness. Romans chapter 5, verses 3 and 4 tell us, "We rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope." Here we learn that our struggles are not in vain. They shape our character and give rise to hope. Lastly, Galatians chapter 6, verse 9 encourages us with these words, "And let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up." This verse urges us to keep doing good, assuring us that our efforts will bear fruit. These verses remind us that perseverance is not only a virtue, but also a pathway to greater strength and faith.